YouTube and Miami Dolphins fans, welcome back. We're back. We're ready to get into this. I do want to give out a big thank you. Our last video was absolutely awesome. The feedback, and we got almost 400 views, which for us is like record breaking, um, almost triple what we usually get. So really awesome.
Yeah, like 30
Appreciate the
likes.
support. Yeah. A lot of likes, a lot of comments, a lot of new subscribers. So, hey, if you guys are watching this, feel free to check out the other video. We recapped our draft. And in this video, what we're going to do is ultimately we're going to discuss our wide receiver group, and we're going to, break it down. We have so many receivers currently. A lot of these guys are going to be practice squad players. A lot of them are some of them are going to be cut and won't be with us when the season starts. And then, of course, some of them will be day one starters. So we're going to get right into it. We do have some other things we're going to talk about first, just because since our last podcast, we haven't wrapped this up. So you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So first, I want to talk about Bobby McCain. We haven't gotten into that yet. We all do know Bobby McCain was released. When was that? Wednesday?
Yeah, a couple days
Yesterday
ago.
or the day before, Wednesday or something. Came as a surprise to some. It wasn't a surprise to me. I kind of expected it just because of the cap hit he was taking. But I'll let you get right into it. I've been doing all the talking. So Bobby
Nah,
McCain, are you gonna miss him?
yeah, I will actually. He was a 9-year Dolphin vet. When I think Bobby McCain, I think Dolphins only. He's one of the few players that were drafted by this team long ago that was still there. I'm going to miss him from a few standpoints. I think he was a great leader, a great locker room guy. More importantly, moving forward, I understand the move. Like, it's just business. It has to be done. He had a big cap hit. He's getting paid cornerback money, but playing free safety. And he definitely got better at free safety, but I didn't see him. He's not natural there. Like, there were a lot of times where he couldn't help over the top. He's not super rangy. I don't want to say he's not rangy. He's just not very rangy.
He's not a great tackler either.
He's not a great tackler, and he's your last line of defense. There were some times last year where that position was an issue, but he does an overall good job of being the captain of the defense. So I will miss him. I don't know who's coming in as his replacement because he did play most of his snaps single high, and I don't see Holland as that player. He could take some snaps there, but that's a big waste, in my opinion, to put someone that talented 20 yards off the ball, every play. So I will miss Bobby, but it had to
Yeah,
happen.
I'm gonna miss him too. He was a great guy. He's a good captain. He did a lot for us. He didn't have any problem moving from nickel corner or being drafted as a boundary corner, moving to nickel corner, and then moving back to free safety.
Yeah,
He's always willing to do whatever job he could to help the team. I think whoever's going to get him is going to be happy with him. I think he's a good player. He's good. He's not great, but he's a good player.
yeah.
He's a starter, if not coming off in second and third down snaps.
And he's not
But
even
I'm going to
old. Yeah, he's
no.
not old. He didn't lose any steps or anything. It was just a cap salary move type of thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree. So, best of luck to Bobby. I hope you sign with Washington. I'm really I want to root for them with
yeah,
Fitz over there. So, hope you sign with the Washington football team. But other than that, good luck. All right, so next I want to talk about the Jason McCourty signing. Not a big signing. The one thing I do like about this is that he is a veteran. He's a class act, good guy. He was with Brian Flores in New England as well. And I think he's mostly there almost as a mentor. And there was a quote by Jason McCourty saying that he, at this point in his career, that's what he's most excited for is mentoring the next level of these cornerbacks. So I think Noah Igbinogheni's kind of in the perfect situation when he's learning behind Jason McCourty and Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. So hopefully that helps Igbo out a little bit. But also want to clear one thing up. It's not Devin McCourty. A lot of people thought that Jason McCourty was a safety. Jason McCourty is a cornerback. He's not a safety. So let
yeah.
me get that out there. Or at least he was in New England. He was a corner.
He was the corner in New England. Since he's a twin of a free safety, you would think he has the physical ability to play it, and probably he knows the defense inside and out. So if he isn't coming in to play free safety, I don't even see him getting many snaps playing in general, which would be kind of a waste. So I'm guessing that he's coming in to be free safety. I don't know how good he is at special teams. Like, I don't know if he even makes the 53. Like, he probably does.
Yeah,
So.
I'd almost be intrigued to see maybe if they try Byron Jones at free safety. I feel like that could be
Um,
a great hit.
That your defense is so much better if you would put Byron
Yeah.
at free safety and Jason McCourty and X on the outside. You're getting the best players on the field, and I think that's what's
Yeah.
important. And I'm sure Byron Jones is a better free safety than he is a corner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that's it. Jason McCourty signed. I think it was a 1-year deal, probably worth some millions.
Yeah.
Last thing we're going to get into before we talk about receivers. About 20 minutes ago, actually, the jersey numbers were released by the Dolphins. It was like a minute-long video. A lot of people changed their numbers. We're not going to break that down here. I'm going to go into a few. If you want to see everyone's number, of course, go to the Miami Dolphins Twitter. I'm not going to list out every number. But some cool numbers that were chosen. Liam Eichenberg is number 74.
Yeah, and before he continues, I have not seen any of these at all.
Yeah.
This will be my first time hearing them. I did not get to see the Twitter post prior to coming onto this recording. So
Yep.
Liam Eichenberg, 74. That's cool.
Yep. Hunter Long, 84.
Okay.
And then this is where it switches up a little bit. So Igbo changed his number to number 9. So from 23 to 9. So it'd be easier to see him out there. You know, he's going to be a single number in the secondary.
All right.
Of course, Phillips is 15, Jalen Phillips. Javon Holland, any guess?
He wanted 22 or something, or 23.
He is 22.
Yeah.
Jared Dokes is 23. And then we get into our wide receivers. So Will Fuller chose number 3.
That's a good number for him.
Jaylen Waddle stuck with 17. Albert Wilson changed from 15 to 2. So Albert Wilson, number 2. That's weird. Alan Hearns is number 8. And lastly, Lynn Bowden Jr. Any guess?
He wanted 6.
6.
That's what
Correct.
he wanted. So my thoughts on that is like some of these people absolutely look like those numbers for sure. I like the speedy receivers and the low numbers totally.
Igbo's going to be weird.
Igbo is very weird to see 9 as a corner. My thing is like I feel like the lower numbers, this is just me, I feel like the lower numbers should be reserved for the better players. So
hey, don't sleep on Noah.
I think Noah's got a lot to prove, but if he does end up panning out to something, it'd make more sense. I'm not even sure Albert Wilson makes this roster, so we'll see if he keeps 2. I feel like 2 is a prestigious number. I don't know why. It's very close to 1, and 1 is typically your best player on the team. So
yeah, so that's a good transition. So we're gonna get to these wide receivers. You know who we think should make the roster. We'll pick 7 receivers, I think. And
that's a lot. I would say 6.
We'll pick 7. We'll pick 7 to make it. You got to think like maybe special teams, stuff like that. So first, we're going to talk about our longest tenured receiver. Breakout season in 2019. Last year had a down year. Devante Parker. Last year he recorded 63 receptions for 793 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is a good step down of what he did the year before, especially in the yards per catch category. He did battle some injuries throughout the season, and sometimes it looked like he was playing injured to try and prove that point where he was, I'm not going to miss any games. If Devante comes out in 2021 and produces these same numbers with our receiving core now, I'd say that's a successful season. What do you think?
Yeah, so I agree with you. I'm actually okay with Devante, with where he is, who he is, all that. I've just accepted it. There was a point where you drafted him to be like the number 1 guy, and like he just kind of isn't that, but he's not bad. He's still big. He's still a 50-50 ball monster. He's one of the best 50-50 ball receivers in the league still. He's never been a great route runner. He's probably not going to be a great route runner at this point. We just have to accept him kind of for what he is, and he's the X. He's the X receiver in this offense, and he's just going to be that. And I think that we should be happy with that because there's nothing wrong with the production that he gives. And if he gets hurt, we have enough depth now that, like, take a few games off Devante. I'd rather you just sit and get healthy. So,
yep, I agree. I love Devante Parker. I really do. Like you said, he is one of the best 50-50 ball receivers I've seen ever in a Dolphins uniform. Yeah. Me, personally, not that old. So since I've been a Dolphins fan, he's one of the best jump ball catch receivers. I think if he has another season like he did last season, maybe he misses a few games, puts up 800 yards and 4 touchdowns. I'll take that as a success with all these weapons we do have. So, anything else on Devante Parker?
No, that's it. I do want to say, though, if you disagree or agree or anything with our takes, please let us know in the comment section below. If you think that Devante Parker's the worst receiver you've ever seen in your life and he should be, Jakeem Grant's water boy or something crazy like that, put it in the comments. And if you think we are doing a good job, let us know. If you think we're doing a bad job or we could do something better, let us know.
Yeah.
Anything you want to put in that comment section, we will read everyone. We'll probably respond to everyone since we don't have a huge following yet. But we're happy to hear your feedback, and we want to hear what you think about these receivers. If you've got any crazy takes, and maybe in the next video we'll mention it if we see something we like. So
Yeah, and actually that's a good pause. We did get. I think I responded or liked or whatever the little heart loved at least every comment on the last video. If it was something where I could respond to, I responded, of course. And I do want to say I'm not asking for subscribers. I'm just saying if you guys genuinely enjoy our content, give us a subscribe. It helps us out, and we appreciate it. So we're gonna move on from there, and we're gonna move into our next receiver. We're gonna talk about Will Fuller, our new number three. Number three, as in his jersey number three. Not yeah. Of course, Will Fuller came over from the Texans. He is suspended week 1 due to PEDs. As far as the injuries and the suspensions, Will Fuller is probably our most productive receiver on the roster as far as when he's on the field, good things happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a very proven vertical threat. And when we talk about Jaylen Waddle, we'll talk about why Will Fuller is so great. I think Will Fuller could do better in this offense than he ever could have in Houston. He may have be receiving a little bit of a step down in the quarterback play so far, but he has a much better. I couldn't really name, besides DeAndre Hopkins, anyone that was on that offense with the Houston Texans with Will Fuller, and now I feel like he has a true X. I feel like he's got speed receivers around him. He's got a decent O-line, a running game. He should be able to be very productive even if he gets less touches. Before we go into any of the other players, these players are going to get less touches because there's so many talented players. I'm sure they're going to have to work in Tua's not like Fitz. Tua is a distributor who's used to having 4 first-round pick talents on his roster. He distributed that ball very evenly to keep everyone happy, and it's going to be that way. He's not going to pick a favorite target. He doesn't have a blankie. That's not the type of quarterback he is.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important thing to note is that, just because Jaylen Waddle doesn't hit, 1,000 yards this season doesn't mean anything. This is a deep wide receiver group. Because if we're being honest here, we really don't have that number 1 guy, that guy on 3rd and long. That's who we're going to. We don't have that DeAndre Hopkins, that Devonta Adams. So that's an important thing to note is this season for me at least. I'm going to ignore the wide receiver stats and just watch their production, watch what they do with the ball, watch what they do without the ball. And go from there.
Yeah, I think that it's really important as a perspective moving forward. Don't be a stat watching Sally. Don't be a person who is just judging everything by stats. It's weird to say, but you have to judge by 2 things with this team. You have to judge by wins and you have to judge by film. You have to look and see how the scheme is working and if we're winning the games, because that's all the coaching staff plans for. So they don't plan. I'm sure there are games where Will Fuller is going to be completely phased out of the offense, and all he's going to be doing is running brotherhood routes, which for the viewers that don't know what that is, that's running routes essentially to get other people open, and he might not have a catch in a single game. That doesn't mean he's not, Will Fuller didn't have a catch, he did terrible, cut his ass, he's terrible. No. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. There's going to be games like that. It's just how this team is built, and that's okay as long as they're winning. That's what I want everyone to look for. Look for winning. Look at what he's doing on film. Is it having an impact? If you don't know what he's doing on film, let us post videos about that, and we'll show you what they're doing on film.
Yep.
And you can see how they're helping without catching the ball.
Love it.
Yeah,
I love that take. All right, so next we're moving on to Jaylen Waddle. We've talked about Jaylen Waddle a lot these past couple of weeks. He will be wearing number 17. I know I said that earlier, but I'll, reemphasize it. He will be wearing number 17. I think Waddle and Fuller together is going to be absolutely disgusting, and teams are going to be scared to try and scheme something up to guard them. I think teams will just be nervous going into games.
Yeah, I think that the vertical threat that Fuller gives you, the horizontal threat and vertical threat Waddle can give you. I mean, he's going to waddle his butt right in the end zone a lot of times, like doing, moving left or right, whatever he does. And they're going to have him on motion. They're going to have him, just all around. I can't even imagine how they're going to use him. I hope they just use him kind of like Bama did. He's so electric. I mean, his speed translates. He is going to be the fastest guy on the field day one.
Yep, I agree. All right, so the next person we're going to talk about is Albert Wilson. This is probably the hardest receiver for me to talk about because I like Albert Wilson as a player. I just don't think there's room for him. I think he's too similar to Lynn Bowden, who I think might even be better and is younger. And he's almost too similar to Jaylen Waddle. And, of course, Jaylen Waddle has more upside, and it's our first-round pick. So I don't know. Do you think there's room in this receiver room for Albert Wilson?
No, and I think it's unfortunate because we have a good problem to have. We've got a lot of receivers with like prototypes, like Jaylen Waddle and Albert Wilson play the same type of role to me, except for Albert Wilson has an expensive contract, is old, coming off an injury, coming off an opt-out. Like there's so much unknown, and even if he was proven, it might be a stopgap. Like how many reps do you really want to give him? And then before we talk about the rest of the receivers, something we need to talk about with every receiver moving forward is what is their special teams impact? Because that would highly determine if they're valuable. So if Albert Wilson has really good special teams value and he can do stuff beyond just returning and punt returning and kick returning, then it would make a case to keep him because it would mean that the overlap from the offensive starters isn't that big. Do you agree with that? That like special teams is going to be the next most important thing now from the rest of the people we talk about?
Absolutely. I mean, after Lynn Bowden, we're getting to Preston Williams, and after that, it's all special teams, really. So you want to, so let's get into Lynn Bowden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you start. Go ahead.
You can start this one.
All right, I'll start this one. So Lynn Bowden, this is the reason why I don't think Albert Wilson really has a roster spot because he kind of has the same overlap. I think Bowden's actually just as good, but much younger. He was a rookie last year, coming into his second year. He's a little bit more coachable, moldable. He's been being coached through our system with these coaches from the start for him, basically, once he left Oakland or Las Vegas, sorry. So with him, as long as he has special teams value, he overtakes Wilson for me, and he gets a spot on this roster. I would actually pencil him in that there's very little chance that they move on from him, seeing from what he showed last year, and just I want him to be the kick returner. I don't want Waddle out there. I know Flores wants Waddle out there. Don't you do it. I know you're watching this video, Brian Flores. Don't you put any of the people who are made of paper mache out there to return kicks or punts. I'm going to be really upset, and I'm going to throw a fit. You don't want to see a fit. But, yeah. So I think Bowden, thumbs up. What do you think?
I can't agree more. So, I do like Albert Wilson. I don't want to get that twisted. I think he is a good receiver. The only thing is that I'm going to take Lynn Bowden due to age, contract, injury history, and I think Lynn Bowden does more before the catch and after the catch. I feel like Lynn Bowden almost has a Jarvis Landry type of after the catch where he does make a lot of people miss. He doesn't have pure speed like Albert Wilson, but he's deadly after the catch. He's dangerous. I mean, we saw my favorite play was I was at the game, the Pats game in Miami, and it was the reverse, and he was looking to throw, and nobody was open. And he ran for probably 20 seconds just to get 9 yards. But when I looked at the field after, and there were 8 Patriots just laying on the floor, and then one of them ended up grabbing him. But I was like, dude, this guy is shifty. So I'm going to say Lynn Bowden over Albert Wilson any day. I don't think there's enough balls in the, to be distributed to Albert Wilson at this point.
Yeah, and the sad thing is I think with some of these players that there's just not enough room for. They're going to be good players, but they're also going to be untradeable. There's no way you can trade Albert Wilson for even a 7th-round pick. These are all guys that are going to have to be released, and hopefully the best we can get is cap space freed up. But
I agree. All right, so let me make a note. So next we're going to talk about Preston Williams. I'm going to be honest with you, I like Preston Williams, but I need to see the kid play. I need to see more than half a season every season. I'd say this is his year where if he wants to prove himself to stay as a Miami Dolphin, he's got to play at least 10, 11 games.
Yeah.
He's played one season and he's had 1,000 yards between his 2 seasons. He's missed 8 games in each season, which totals 16 games, and I think he's just about 1,000 yards. So hey, you can do that in one season. That's great. You're gonna get a big contract. I do like Preston Williams. The drops, I think, is more mental than anything. I don't think it has anything to do with skill. I think sometimes he does have mental lapses coming out of his breaks, it looks like. But I would not like if Preston Williams wasn't on this roster. I expect him to be on this roster.
Yeah, so what I think about Preston Williams is two separate thoughts. The first thought is how great do we feel instead of Preston Williams being our number 2, him being our like 4 or 5? We feel great about that now. Like if he's on the bench, right, and he doesn't have to play, 1,000-yard season type of production. If he can just be that guy, because he's got to develop a little bit, but man, he's talented. So from an age, a cost, and an upside perspective, I like him just being stashed away to like be depth for when one of these guys is gonna get hurt. When that happens, it'd be nice to have him step into that role. And he's rehabbing anyways. I'm a little bit worried about him. From my second point is how much special teams value does he give you? He used to return punts his rookie year. It's a terrible idea. I don't know why anyone would think a 6'5" receiver. Sorry, Flores. I hate to question the coach on the punt returner choices, but I don't know what special teams value he gives, and I think he's still rehabbing this second injury. This is a guy that I could see could be a surprise cut, and we would all hate it. I would hate it, and I could see him as a surprise cut because of the injury and just finding a place. But I think he's talented that, like, if I had a choice, I'd stash him. I'd keep him on there.
I agree, and he's so cheap, too.
Yeah, super cheap. That's another reason to keep him.
Yeah, undrafted contract right now. So, all right, moving on. We are at the really tough decisions because it's getting to where we have 4 receivers left.
That's crazy.
And we got to pick one of these guys to keep. So first we're going to talk about – actually, we have 5 receivers left. First we're going to talk about Jakeem Graham. I like Jakeem. I think if I would hang out with him, he's probably a cool dude. Like I would love to, play some football with him in the backyard, race him, and get burnt. Do I think he fits on this team? I don't know. I like him as a kick returner when the ball is in his hands. I don't like him as a punt returner when he's looking up for the ball. It's really tough. He does bring special teams value. I'm going to let you take it.
This is tough for a totally different reason for me. I think, like, from a skill set perspective, there's no need for him anymore. We've got people who are faster or as fast who can now catch consistently, which is his issue, is consistency and injury. He's a little injury prone. So I think we've got other guys that can kind of do his job better. So I'm not sure that he has a spot anymore. But something really interesting, I think it was you, Andrew, that posted something about his like highlight reel, and his highlight reel was so good. You look at the highlights and you're like, was this guy really on our team? The highlights are up here and the lowlights are like down in the basement. And his problem is consistency. And Flores is a consistency kind of guy. I would kind of get rid of him or see if you can move him. He's an all-pro kick returner. He's not a bad player. He's an all-pro kick returner. I would consider trying to move him for a 6th or a 7th because then you could get back the value. He's better than any 6th or 7th round receiver that was drafted this year. So for the most part.
You're not giving him another chance this year, huh?
But why? You have Waddle, you have Fuller.
I'm just asking. We got to cut some of these guys when we're done. So.
Expensive, stopgap, inconsistent, amazing highlight reel, great returner, but like there's more cons on this list that other players just don't have, and I want to invest in younger players. I don't want to invest in a 5'6", 27 or 28-year-old receiver. And I love Jakeem. Like, we know that he watches our videos too. He gives every video we have a like. We hope that you do the same. But, like, we love you, Jakeem. Just it might be time for Miami to move on.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be sad to see him go, especially with his connection with Devante. He's been here a while now. When was he drafted? 2016?
Or 15? I don't know. Same as Devante?
Yeah. I think
2016.
Year after. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's been here a while. He's a hard-working guy. At this point, I do think he's replaceable with these other guys. So
yeah,
we'll leave it at that. So next, we're going to talk about Robert Foster. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I don't know too much about Robert Foster.
I don't either.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'd probably cut him
I
just
would cut
because I
him
think
too.
the guys that provide more than
Yeah,
him. So
I would need to see an outstanding training camp from a special teams perspective and a decent receiving perspective. This might just be a camp body, and there's nothing
yeah,
wrong with
I
that.
I think a practice squad would be suitable for him. And then if Devante does get hurt, and Preston Williams, which is a good chance, he has
Yeah,
similar body, similar play type where he could get called up. So maybe practice squad. We'll practice squad
yeah,
him.
that's fine.
Three more.
Okay.
Allen Hurns. Yeah, I'm cutting. I
Out.
agree.
I don't even see any reason to have him here. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't. Maybe I'm missing something, and maybe we need to go back and watch the Alan Hearns film from 2017, but like, or whenever
I
he
agree.
played, 2018. But like,
Yeah. All right. So next, two more left. Now we need to go because one of these guys is gonna have to be cut. So we have
okay,
Mac Hollins and we have Malcolm Perry. So this is where it gets tough. We know Mac Hollins is a contributor on special teams, and we know Malcolm Perry could easily be a kick or punt returner. I feel like that's a role that he could fit in pretty well.
Malcolm Perry should just absolutely go straight to the practice squad. Yeah, because he's eligible for the practice squad, so I'd put him there. He needs to develop. He was a former quarterback. Let him continue to develop. He's not ready to like be involved in this offense unless someone gets hurt. So I do want to stash him to the practice squad if possible. He might get sniped trying to do that, but by another team. But and then Mac Hollins, I really like as a gunner, and it's a really important job. But like maybe we've got a defensive back that can do that job, and maybe we can move on from. But Mac also kind of stepped in and took some reps on offense. And he's 6'4", kind of fast. Like I wish you could put him on the practice squad. He's not eligible. I don't think so. I don't think that's an option for him. So I don't know. I really don't know.
Hollins
It's a tough
as a
decision.
gunner, Mac Hollins as a gunner, sure, but please don't let him touch the field on offense. Please do not.
He
Do
caught a touch.
not.
He's caught a touchdown, and he caught the Fitz magic.
Oh, dude. I think it was against the Pats, man, where he had like 3 drops wide
Yeah.
over the middle of the field.
Okay, yeah.
He wouldn't get much reps anyway. So,
No, he wouldn't. I wish you could practice squad him, but I guess.
all right. So, the time has come.
Okay.
I think we can agree on the top receivers. We're going to keep Devante.
Okay. Yeah.
We're going to keep Fuller.
Mhm.
We're going to keep Waddle. We're going to keep Bowden. And we're going to keep Preston Williams. That's 5 for us. Now, that leaves us. 1 second. Let me make it organized. That leaves us with. Got to pick 2. Jakeem Grant.
I don't think that there's going to be 7 receivers, but okay.
We'll pick 2 and we can practice squad 1. That's
Okay.
what I'm trying to say. Like we'll pick 7 total and we'll go from there. So Jakeem Grant, Robert Foster, Allen Hurns, Mac Hollins, Malcolm Perry, or Albert Wilson.
I think you roster Mac Hollins for special teams. You cut anyone who's old, and you practice squad Malcolm Perry and like call it a day and cut roster Robert Foster or practice squad him too, because you can practice squad.
I think I'm on the same page as you. I like that. I like Mac Hollins as a number, 7, number 6, I guess.
But he's needed. He needs to play. Someone needs to be the gunner, and someone needs to play every special teams rep, and he's got to be one of those guys. And I think I can have Bowden or Waddle fielding kicks, and I think that like you can also have Bowden playing punt coverage. Like there's jobs for other people that can be taken, but from a developmental standpoint, I want to go with the guys that we're both agreed to go with to develop them properly. And like they might be a little bit raw, but not really. I think this offense is going to be dynamic, and I don't think that keeping any of the older guys gives you much benefit over developing the young guys.
All right, so we have wrapped up our wide receivers: Devante Parker, Will Fuller, Jaylen Waddle, Lynn Bowden, Preston Williams, Mac Hollins, and Malcolm Perry. The ultimate question that everybody clicked this video for is: will Tua thrive with these weapons? Will he thrive? What are we expecting?
Yes. I'm expecting either him to thrive or us to be like, you have no excuse not to thrive, and then something, well, I don't know. You have to give him at least 3 years regardless of what you think of him, because it's unfair to give someone coming off a catastrophic hip injury 2 years. So I don't even think that's realistic. I think that I think he'll do great. I mean, why wouldn't he? There's no reason he wouldn't. He didn't even do bad last year. Anyone who says he did bad last year didn't watch the film. He didn't like play as well as Justin Herbert, but like he didn't do bad.
Dude, against the Chiefs and the Pats, if you look at the receivers, it was literally our fifth receiver now in Bowden and our reserve special teams receiver was our two receivers that he was put our top two receivers against the Chiefs and the Patriots. And, we lost to the Chiefs by a touchdown and we beat the Pats. I do think Tua will thrive. I'm confident in him. I'm not saying he's going to have an MVP season. 30 total touchdowns and under 10 interceptions would be absolutely amazing.
That would be incredible. Yeah,
so
30 total touchdowns.
Yeah, that's
10 turnovers.
What I would expect. If he falls short, if he goes 27-11, I'm okay with that. That's a Ryan Tannehill year. But as a second year coming off what he's coming off, I would say that's a great step towards the right direction.
Yeah, I just want to see wins. I want to see an 11 or 12 win. You need to just build on what you have. I want to see wins. They need to get it done with whoever they've got. And I think they're so much better equipped. Like, people sleep on us. We overperformed on a 5-win team that should have been a no-win team. No question, shouldn't have won a game, maybe one game. And then last year we had 10 wins with what probably should have been 8, an 8-win team. So I would expect us to overperform again, and if we don't, it would be a disappointment. But yeah, I think he's in great shape with these receivers, and I'm happy we talked about it because I feel like we got some good points and some good ideas across.
Yeah, I needed to clear my thoughts. This receiving room is so crowded, and now I haven't practice this or anything, but definitely looking at it now and talking about it, it's a lot more concise, and I feel better about it. So
yeah, we hope you do too. So
yeah, we're all done here, guys. If you like this video, give us some feedback. We're gonna actually this coming week, on Twitter, we're gonna have some fan questions. So if you do follow me on Twitter, it's ADT Fans. If you don't, we're gonna post a link or tweet so you can ask us some questions. Me and Randy will both post it. They'll be featured on the show, and we'll tag you, of course, when the video is uploaded with those fan questions. Anything else to sign off with?
No, that's it. Just fins up, and thanks for tuning in again.
Cool. All right, guys. See ya.